Hi, I'm Leslie.
And I'm Mariah.
And we're the faces behind Book Beat Bite Me.
And today we'd like to wish you a very warm and wonderful Thanksgiving.
Our mission is to inspire lifelong readership among international learners of English. Today we want to share with you 3 ways that you can incorporate reading during your Thanksgiving holiday.
The first way we're going to talk about is the connection between reading and traveling. One of my favorite ways to read because I enjoy reading magazines. It's a guilty pleasure. Mm-hmm. And a wise woman, one of my very good friends who's a lawyer.
No.
She had a guilty pleasure of reading People magazine, and if she can read People magazine, so can I.
Yes. So whether we're calling it travel reading, whether you're on a plane or you're driving in a car or you're on a train, wherever you're commuting to.
Not if you're driving.
Not if you're driving, that's really smart. If you're commuting and you can safely read, then we encourage you to pick up a magazine or bring something that you love, whether it's a graphic novel or a comedy strip?
A comic strip.
A comic strip.
A comic book.
Book. And we feel that 15 to 20 minutes a day of reading is really good for you. So we know that reading can often be a really big deal. There's pressure in school, there's pressure for your workplace, but we just think it should be like one of those things that they say about life, everything in moderation. So if you, for reading for pleasure, make it something, 15 to 20 minutes a day, we think that that's good enough. So make sure you take something with you.
And my final thought on travel reading is keep it light. I mentioned People magazine because if you are anything like me, I fall asleep in the middle of a novel and I end up carrying a really big book with me, which might be good for my muscles. But so I indulge and I give myself the allowance to just read magazines or a graphic novel. Keep it light because I know that I'm not going to get through a novel on an airplane.
Yes.
And I think we should talk about our second.
Yes. So I think the second way that we both felt you could incorporate reading easily into your Thanksgiving holiday would be through recipes. As you know, we have a food tab on our website, bookmebiteme.com.
Hence the bite me of the book me.
Yes. And we just feel that reading recipes are valuable. It gives you an in with community. If you read a recipe, sometimes you have to look up new words. Both of us have to do that. It's not just for anyone who's learning a language. And you have a final product that you can taste. Whether it's good or bad, you can still share it with someone, and that's what Thanksgiving's all about, is sharing. So if you're an international student and you're here in the US or wherever you are in the world and you want to celebrate in Thanksgiving, sometimes it's like, ooh, how do I show up to a place, or how do I include myself? And you'll conquer reading, cooking, and you'll have a social piece to talk about wherever you go. Or invite someone to your table.
And I would add cultural because, you can read a cookbook about whatever you like, but if you're learning English and would like to pick up I guess American, can we say? But a cookbook that, like The Joy of Cooking, for example, it's Julia Child's, right? Is The Joy of Cooking?
I think so.
We'll have to fact check. But pick up something that's an American recipe and you're learning about the culture and the history at the same time. And I absolutely... If you go and share it, maybe a neighbor who lives down the hall in the condo that you're living, it's a way to break the ice. And if it's from your culture, you can talk about your culture, or if it's from their culture, then they get to share, their associations with that dish. So, number 2.
The recipes. And some recommendations, Mariah had mentioned on our first point about travel reading with magazines. I would say, go to blogs or go to food magazine websites. I frequently visit bonappetit.com and also Savor magazine, which both have a lot of recipes. Even Williams Sonoma has recipes on their website. I go to persianmamablog.com.
And those are great ideas. And I don't have them on the top of my head like you do, off the top of my head like you do. But what I will do is link those at the bottom so you guys have access to it, and I'll add some that I use as well.
Yeah, it doesn't reading and being an inspired reader or being a healthy reader, it doesn't really have to cost you a lot of money. We have so many resources for free. Yeah. So our third point is...
Number three is because Thanksgiving is all about gratitude and family, we often associate the genre of poetry with Thanksgiving, especially because I don't know if it's your family tradition or someone told me that actually the family members bring a poem that they find and then it's something like very short but meaningful, and then they share that before the eating of their feast, of their meal. And I thought that's a really nice way.
I think that's special.
Yeah.
It's short, sweet, and you make it literary.
Yeah. So I think our third tip for the holiday, Thanksgiving holiday, is find a poem, and we have a little task for you. Normally, we would find the poem for you.
But this time we're going to challenge you to find the poem and let us know what you find and what you share during your Thanksgiving break. Whether you're going to be joining people or you want to share something on your own social media, go on the internet. If you don't have poetry books, go on the internet and just find a poem on gratitude, on being thankful, or a Thanksgiving poem. Even if it's an author that you are unfamiliar with, or even if it's an author in your native language, see if you can identify those words in the poem in English and share it with us. Just make it a little challenge for yourself.
And you triggered my memory because the poem, what was the name, by Reza Mohammadi?
Yeah.
What's the name of the poem? It was your post.
I know.
But you can see it. You can find it under poetry on our blog as she's remembering the name. But it had the Farsi and the English next to it. So maybe your native language is Chinese, or maybe your native language is Spanish. And actually, I have a Pablo Neruda poetry book that I just bought that has the English and Spanish. I know. So our task for you is to go find a poem, share it with us, and
share it with the community too that you're going to be with. I myself am going to bring a poem to the Thanksgiving table and make it special. That's the whole point. You know, reading is great if you make it special, and don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone else.
So we're going to wrap up this post, but we have a short little quiz for you. What were the 3 recommendations we talked about today?
Good listening skills.
See you next time.
Bless you this Thanksgiving. Take care.
Be safe and have a wonderful, warm, joyous Thanksgiving.
Bye.
And share your poems with us.